Hello, hello. We are back from the lab. This is the lab with Cody and Kel. For episode 20.
I believe so. Yeah.
Woo woo. Episode 20. Oh yeah, because that's why we did the t-shirt giveaway. Um,
Yes.
which we do have the announcement for. So that was a perfect segue. And Cody, who is our winner? We did a random number generator for the reviews that we got, and this was the one that it picked.
Yes. So the winner, I have to pull it up. Okay. So, um, intermediate scrutiny. So I don't know who that is personally. So if this is you, if this is your username, feel free to reach out either through the lab Instagram, through the lab email, through my DMs, although probably not the best because they're a little bit of a shit show. So I may not see it. So, but you could try. Or Kel's DMs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got a t-shirt and we want to send it to you.
Yeah, and we're gonna post that name on Instagram too, just so we make sure we cover all bases. But yeah, just let us know what your size and your address, and we will get that to you.
Yep. You are the first person to like win a t-shirt. So
Yeah,
very
no one
proud.
else has them other than me and Cody and all of
Yeah.
our guests.
Yes. All three.
All three. We also had our first challenge winner. Do we want to talk about that a little bit before we get to
Yeah.
our how our weeks have been? So go. You want to go ahead and announce?
Yeah.
We're
So
still.
Ariel, she won the Lab Summer Challenge, which is awesome. She did a great job. And we're hoping to have more challenges to come. I think we are starting to put together, or we want to put together one for next month as well. And yeah, hoping to continue to do challenges like the last one because they are really great for accountability. Everyone loves a little challenge, right? But yeah, Ariel is the winner. And also she will be coming on as a guest at some point as soon as we can
Heck
get her
yeah!
scheduled. So that will be fun. What else should we what
And
else about the lab challenge?
I also wanted to say thank you everybody who participated. It wouldn't
Yes.
have been a good time without y'all. And everybody did kill it. I know even though we have a winner, I think really everybody was the winner because we came closer to hitting our goals. So again, thank you for participating, and we hope to have you back at the lab.
Yes, it's always funny because there's always a pretty big drop off with challenges. And then there's probably like a few like select people who follow it through with till the end. Which for those of you who did follow through to the end, yeah, thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
congratulations. That was, I mean,
Yes.
it's a lot, especially if you don't have a coach, to hold yourself accountable, and that's kind of the goal. So
Yeah.
good job. So Cody, how's your week been? What's
Been
new?
pretty good. Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy new. Shoulder is still feeling good, knee is still a little broken, but I got to follow up for that this week, so we'll find out what's the next step of that. I don't know. I went on another ketamine trip, so
Oh
that was
yeah.
fun. This one was a little different. It was kind of funny because like the first ketamine session that I had, which if no one's listened to the last episode, you're probably very lost. This isn't a recreational thing that I am doing. This is like it's for your it's a therapy session. Psychedelic therapy is all the rage these days, but ketamine is the only
Californians.
legal one. Yeah. California, we just call drugs therapy now. So you should move here. That's why it's so expensive. Just kidding. But so yeah, ketamine, it's just a new form of therapy, and helps create new pathways in your brain and like kind of can help dig up some stuff your brain just likes to suppress. So far it's made my therapy sessions a lot more productive, which is cool. But also, so like you start out at a lower dose and you work up until you hit like a 400 milligram dose. So first one is 100, second one it was 200, and this time was the 200. And I spent like some of the trip almost mad because The first one was so easy. It was like a lucid dream. It had a story to it where there was like journey, and I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. I can't wait to tell people about it. And then like the second one just like made zero sense. It was a trip for sure, but like it was just like colors and like feelings of like it was like this expansion feeling and like shrinking. I don't like literally don't know how to describe it. And I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to tell people about this one because it makes no fucking sense. And literally the only thing that I could help describe it the other day. So Des is wearing these kind of weird, I guess what you would call like tie-dye shorts, but they weren't like tie-dye. It was just like one, it was like black and gray. And all I could do is point at her shorts and say, like, that's what I saw.
Is that normal?
So,
Like, did it like, is that how it kind of goes, like supposed to go? Like, they get
yeah.
less and less makey sense.
Yeah, I guess so. I had a little, so the psychiatrist actually gave me a call like the next day and she talked with me for like an hour, which was crazy. But she said that's very normal. And then she's just basically like, wait till you get up to like the high dose, the actual dose. And essentially I left my body in the last trip. I was kind of just like, am I dead? Legit, I wasn't sure. I was like, am I dead? Am I dying? How do I get back to my body? I felt a little lost. So there was like little moments of anxiety, but at the same time, I was like, meh, I don't care. So yeah, I did return to my body. But yeah, she said that's normal. So like this time I left my body. Next time I'm leaving the earth for sure. So
Cool.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I guess, it's just like the medicine doing its work. It's not always gonna make sense. So that's good to know. I was kind of like, I feel like everything should have a reason. I should be able to know, like, see things that make sense that are gonna help me work through shit. But no, it's not always like that. So yeah.
That's nuts. That's so interesting. I would love to experience that, but I don't know, maybe one day. But
Yeah.
sounds
Gotta move to
very
California
cool.
first.
We have to move to California first, yeah. When I make the big bucks.
Yes, but yeah, what's new with you?
Oh, so much. I launched my training kind of last week. I launched it in July, but kind of did a special offer last week. And so I've been busy with that, busy with programming for new clients. But yeah, and then working still, obviously. Maddie left for 10 days, so I'm going to be a single dog and cat dad for a little while, which is very sad. But she's going to have a blast. She's in Israel. Well, she's flying there right now, but
That's
yeah.
cool. What's she doing there?
Have you ever heard of the birthright trip?
Yes.
She's doing birthright, so she is of
Okay.
Jewish descent. So yeah, she's free trip to Israel essentially.
That's very cool. Yeah, I had a friend that did that once.
Yeah, so she's stoked at it. I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity, but I'll miss her. So yeah, and then what else did I do this weekend? Went to a 2-year-old's birthday party.
Nice.
Went to the Irish festival. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
But yeah, I had a really shitty workout week, which obviously, but and missed a cardio session or 2 cardio sessions, and like I never have done that before. Just like straight up miss something without really an excuse. So I went through a lot in my head. It was a big beat up journey, but just gonna try to move on. So that's where I'm at.
That's really all you can do, really. And you're not alone. I've missed cardio sessions and stuff like that. And yeah, how the drill. You just get back to it.
Just gotta get back into the drill or into the swing of things. And starts a new week tomorrow. So all ready to go. Flex woke up. He wants to be part of the podcast. We need to get him a little director chair.
Yeah.
Oh, and now he's done.
He's like trying to pass out, but
he's like, I'm very private. Thank you. Goodbye.
No cameras, no pictures, please.
So we didn't even mention the topic. He's gonna hold in like a baby.
His eyes are always the weirdest when you're
Uh,
like, all right, for people who can't see this.
I know this is great for audio.
I know. I'm so glad you joined us when you have no idea what we're looking at. So
um, but so today's topic is how you get pumped up for the gym. So it's really common, especially for bodybuilders, I feel like, to have like specific pre-workout like routines and like rituals almost. And I know there's been I've talked to clients and I've been there, like where you're just sitting in your car in front of the gym and just like can't seem to open that door. So we're gonna kind of talk about like how you get in, how you get pumped up for a big lift or a long session, or maybe you're just struggling and want a quick little burst of pump upness.
yes. And like I think we're all guilty of being that person who sits in their car, it's just like scrolling social media just to like you're looking for motivation to just get into the gym. But I will tell you, in the summertime, the best thing you can do is just, turn your air conditioning off, because you don't want to sit in your car. Like mine doesn't work, so I do not waste any time. I just get the fuck out.
Love that. Just make it hotter than Hades. You'll
Yep.
get right in.
Mhm.
Get your sweat on in a different way. So do you have a ritual?
I do.
Let's hear it.
So my ritual, I work out around noon to 1:30 is usually the window where I hit the gym. So I will eat my lunch, which is my second meal / pre-workout meal. And while I'm eating that, I usually watch YouTube. I'll watch like bodybuilding specific motivational videos, or like, bodybuilding videos in general. Like if I find them inspiring or motivational, some of them are too boring, and I'll like switch over and make sure that it's like the specific ones that are motivational. So that usually gets me a little more pumped up. Or if I have a video that even if I've seen it before, like I will play that and watch that. So it's pretty simple, but yeah, that is, oh yeah. And so I'll eat the meal and then I'll start drinking my pre-workout, to get, that going. I know a lot of people drink their pre-workout on the way to the gym, but my drive to the gym is like 2 minutes long, so I never finish it if I do that. So yeah, very simple, but that is my pre-gym ritual. How about you?
Mine is very simple because I currently go to the gym right after work. So I hightail it out of work and I make my pre-workout in the parking lot of my work, and then I drive to the gym. I use one playlist for workouts. That's it, and it's called Kel's playlist, or Kel's workout playlist, and I start that when I get in the car, essentially, and it's what I use. It's all like fast paced, either rap, hip hop, or heavy metal.
Nice. See, I have anxiety, so I don't do heavy metal in the gym.
I love it. I used to be a real metalhead in high school, so
That's funny.
yeah,
I don't picture you as like a metalhead.
I didn't look the part. I just was. I think I was just really angry as a teenager.
I think we all were. There's
I
some
know.
teenage angst in there.
Yeah.
I was more of like an emo type of person in high school, I feel like. Or
I
like,
definitely had emo, but I
yeah,
preferred the metal stuff.
I wasn't as cool. I did listen to rap in high school though. I don't anymore. I don't know why. But yeah.
Yeah, my favorite thing is like my playlist will go from like Metallica to like Snoop Dogg, like between songs. I'm like, this is the
Wow.
weirdest transition, but it's like whatever, it works for me. But speaking of Spotify, so Cody and I were thinking of we'll drop the playlists, and can you do it in the like in Spotify? Are you able to do that like in the show notes or whatever?
Yes, yeah. I could
Cool.
just, it'll be a link, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
for
fine.
sure.
Cool. So we'll put the link in this the show notes, but we're gonna drop a lab workout playlist that's collaborative. So if you are listening and you know some good jams for workouts, drop it in there, and we're gonna try to get a big ass list of awesome pump up gym songs put
Yes.
together in there. I think it'll be pretty
Yeah.
fun, and we'll drop it on Instagram too. Um, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What have you heard of any crazy workout rituals? I know you watch a lot of videos.
Uh no, I think I see a lot of people. Well, like the craziest one I see, I don't know if it's a ritual, but a lot of people are like into dry scooping their pre-workout.
Ugh.
And I don't know how the hell people do that. I would choke and I would probably just panic and just have so much anxiety because it's such a quick hit. So yeah, other than that, like I haven't seen the other like bizarre pre gym rituals, but yeah.
Yeah, I tried the dry scooping once, and I coughed, and it like went everywhere in my truck, and I'm like, this is never happening again, because it was like so sticky. Try to get out. And of course it goes in like all the crevices, and I'm like, this was stupid. Why did I try to be cool? I
You
know
should
I
have
can't
filmed
handle
that.
this. It's like dousing yourself in pixie stick, like
Oh,
expecting a different
totally.
reaction.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so true. Yeah, it's like in comparison to the rest of my daily ritual, I guess it's like a smaller ritual in between my larger ritual of my life. It's pretty simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
I think the reason I do it that way is even when I used to skateboard, I would do the same thing. So before I go to the skate park, I'd watch skate videos while I drank like my energy drink and got ready to like get amped up to go skate. So I just kind of applied the same thing to bodybuilding, working out, because that has become my skateboarding essentially. I have a very strange personality where like I obsess over things for long periods of times, and essentially it's kind of the same thing with just a different canvas. So
That's
yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Like I love the gym, so I think it's a little, and and the same with you. Like it's probably a little different. Like when people have gym anxiety, maybe it's a lot harder. And the ritual needs to be a little bit more complicated. But the gym for me is like the best part of my day. Like I especially love it after work, just because I feel like I get all of my demons out, and like I usually leave like my work phone in the car, and so like nothing can bother me, and it's like all under my control. And
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah. I think it's like, so I do have gym anxiety. Like I think I'll always have like a small amount at least, just because I'm a socially anxious person. But it's way better now. But like when I first started going to the gym, I don't know that I really had a ritual besides like don't leave. So my ritual was like walk on the treadmill first, just so I could like scope out the environment, kind of, observe. And then after that, I would kind of work my way in.
Mhm.
And I kind of just gradually built up to the point where I felt comfortable to just go straight in. I didn't have to like start at the treadmill. Sorry, my dog keeps hitting the microphone.
He's not causing
um,
feedback or anything, so
oh, hopefully
he just
not.
wants to rap.
I, but yeah, as far as like, I think another thing that might be helpful if you do have gym anxiety also is, like a playlist, something that, maybe some songs that help you feel more at home or safe, like something that's familiar, something that's like your power song. I don't know if anyone ever
Yeah.
did like Nike Plus running, but I did. And so you'd have a power song that you could basically like, if you push the button because you're struggling, it would automatically play your power song for you. So I would
What was your
say,
power song?
oh man, I don't know. It's probably Paramore. It probably hasn't changed. It's probably like Yeah, misery business paramour. I'd assume that's probably what it was. So it's yeah, it hasn't changed, and it's still my familiar power song, or it makes me feel good and like makes me feel like I belong and kind of helps to relieve the anxiety a bit. But do you
Nice.
have any tips for those that might feel a little uncomfortable in the gym?
Yeah, so like I try to explain it a little bit off. So like instead of going in with like your, and this might actually be worse for someone with like really bad anxiety, but like if you're just trying to get used to going to the gym and like making it more of a safe place, I almost like to, I like, you know me, like I always like try to reframe the situation. Like everybody's going there for the same purpose. And I think that's one of the reasons that I like it a lot, is because like no one's like, you know, if you go to a coffee shop, like everybody has like their own agenda. Like some people are working, some people are like on first dates, and it's all, everybody's doing something different. But here, like at the gym, everybody's doing the exact same damn thing. They're just trying to improve themselves. And that's kind of something very comforting to me when everybody has like the same goal in mind, even if they're doing something completely different. Like there's, I actually today when I was at the gym, there was some guy who was practicing running barefoot. And so, and like, I didn't know this, but I did some Googling when I was watching, I saw him. It was that he was, like he ran it like a different way that I had never seen before. And I think it was, and it was because like you're supposed to run different when you're running barefoot. Like it's more on your toes almost is what
Mhm.
it looks like.
Yeah.
Um, but and then like I am lifting weights and trying to become like big, and he's doing something very different, but like we're both there chasing a goal, and it's
Yeah.
all to improve ourselves, which I think
Mhm.
is so cool. And I think that's why I like the gym so much. But the way I would kind of tell someone who was very uncomfortable in the gym is, one, make sure the gym fits your vibe. And I know that sounds very California, but
Yes. You belong
um
here.
but so I go to a gym here in Columbus, and it's mainly, it's in like a part of town that's like uh queer and like um just like hipstery kind of, but it's right across the street from a hospital. So like there's and like most of their like corporate memberships are from the people from the hospital, so like traveling doctors, med students, and then like, to be honest, it's a bunch of gay men, and like that's who goes to my gym. And it fits my vibe because everybody just kind of is on their own. No one's really into like super bodybuilding, so there's not like, no one's around flexing all the time. Like I post gym selfies, and I'm the only person I've ever seen take a gym selfie there. Everybody is just like chilling, get like, it's all lifestyle people, and that's kind of what I was going for, because I don't really want to be in like a high competitive environment. I didn't want to be at Planet Fitness. I know Planet Fitness is really cool because it offers like a low barrier to entry. So that's great because it's a lot of people's like only way to go to the gym, which is totally fine. I'm not hating on Planet Fitness for the record, but like I wanted more selection of weights and barbells and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's why I picked my gym. Um, but it fits what I want out of a gym. And there's usually, I mean, unless you're in a very rural part of town, there's usually several options. So I don't think there's any harm in getting a visitor pass. Usually day passes don't cost very much to check out different options, um, and find something that works for you that makes you feel more comfortable. Um, but oh, that's where I was going with this. The reframing is kind of think of it like their first couple times is like a playground. So like get to know all of the areas. Like there's almost always different areas of the gym. There's like the free weight section, there's the machines. Sometimes there's like weird machines like um that are different than most gyms. There's like a stretching area. Just like kind of go around and like go in all the areas and kind of just like explore a little bit, and don't worry about like A to B to C and like following an exact plan. Just kind of get comfortable and like go in the sauna. Like you don't have to count it as like a day. just like go in and like explore a little bit and kind of learn. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be kind of my advice.
That's really good.
Take the
Yeah.
pressure off of it.
Yeah. And the vibe of the gym is definitely really important, but also I feel like so when I first moved here, I was definitely really intimidated by the gym because it was way different. Like my previous gym was more lifestyle clients. There wasn't really much bodybuilder or like anyone real serious, and it was mostly empty a lot of the time. So when I switched over to this gym in a larger city, it was culture shock essentially because they were all it's a Gold's Gym here and they're all very large. And most people I feel like are as serious as I am, if not more, because they're bigger. And so at first I was very intimidated and it took me a long ass time to feel comfortable. Um yeah, even more like yeah, it just took me a very long time, and I'm not normal, and I just take a long time in general to feel comfortable, um, but now I kind of like it because it pushes me. Uh, it's not an environment that I go into like being like, I'll just go through the motions. When I enter those doors, it's either, like I'm trying hard or I'm not going to be in there just because that's just the type of environment it is. But it's also positive. Like at first, I was a little nervous. I wasn't sure if people were going to be mean or whatever, but everyone's very supportive still, very nice, very like they are very respectful. And the selfies and the filming occurs on a daily basis. I like that it's very normal because I was always scared to film in the gym, but they really normalized it. Like no one questions it because everyone does it. So that was maybe, although intimidating to me at first, it has turned into like this healing thing. So I'm glad that even though it was hard, that I pushed myself to continue to go to this gym, and it ended up benefiting me and helping me like grow. So that's
Yeah.
like, maybe if you feel intimidated by the gym, it's not necessarily that like the vibe isn't vibing with you. It's just sometimes you just feel uncomfortable to start, and that's
Yeah.
also normal. But yeah, listen to your gut. Like I never had this feeling of like, oh, this isn't the gym for me. It was more like this is not tiny little Auburn, California anymore. I am not in small town city, like I'm not in the boonies. So but I learned.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong. Okay, so the whole idea of growth is that we have to get out of our comfort zone. That's the whole point of a journey of any type, is to get out of your comfort zone and learn something new. So yeah, it is going to feel awkward at first, period. And
Yeah.
especially if you've ever been into gyms, like if you haven't ever been a gym rat, like it's going to feel weird. It
Mhm.
but and that's the one thing, is like no one's really watching you. If anybody follows me on Instagram, I posted a video of me failing a barbell press, a bench press. And I had to like drop it onto my lap to like bail out of it. And some guy was like right next to me. And you can hear at the end of the video, I said, because he's looked at me and like kind of like in that "are you okay" look, and I just like popped it off my hips, and I'm like, it just be like that sometimes, just because like everybody has failed a lift and like had to drop it. And he's like, "You want help getting it up?" Because like otherwise I would have had to take off the weights, obviously. And so he like grabbed one in and he helped me pick it up. And like that's how the gym is. Like
Yeah.
even big guys who look scary, they started somewhere. And I would say 90% of them aren't going to be dicks. They're going to
No.
help you, and they're going to
Yeah.
they're not going to be jerks to you, because I mean, everybody knows where you've been.
Yeah.
If they're there,
Yeah.
especially, and if you're a gym rat, you've been there for a long time. So like, how it feels to start.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like most bodybuilders started bodybuilding for a reason. Like they're
Yeah.
probably also insecure. So they're like, they probably can relate more than you think, because everyone starts somewhere. So yeah, chance it, like if someone's a dick, that's just because like it's more rare than normal for sure. Like I promise you, there's a lot more positive, respectful people out there. And the interesting part is when like the big guys start asking you to spot them and you're like, are you sure? Like, I, me? Like you're all like looking
There's someone
around.
behind me.
I know. And then like your mind just goes blank and you're like, how do I spot? Like help. I don't want to make it crush you. I don't know if I can carry this responsibility. But yeah, so no big
Um,
deal if you do fail.
and just so you all know, like bodybuilders and trans people have a lot in common, and that's body dysmorphia, because that is why they
It really is.
It's very interesting, and that's why I always wonder. Asked Cody a million times, I'm like, why are there not more trans bodybuilders? This is a sport made for us.
I know. It's like you really do, like you really can just like relate on levels that you may not know. Like when you just, yeah, like I feel like, I mean, you have a commonality of bodybuilding and working out. But it's almost like you share a lot of mindset similarities. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's so funny, but we digress. So say you're going for like a top set, and not necessarily like, so I don't like 1 rep maxes, I never do them. But like, so say it's just like a really heavy last set, maybe you're like almost drained. What's the song you're putting on? Or what's going through your head to like get you there?
Ugh. My song currently, man. I mean, it would probably still be like a Paramore song. Like I haven't changed much since like 1992. Apparently, no, I don't. 2000.
I don't know. 10 years is always going to be the 90s, I think, to
Yeah,
me. 10 years ago.
so true. 10 years ago does not seem like it should be like 2012 or whatever.
No.
I don't know if I just mathed right.
Yeah, no. Yes, I think you mathed right, but no, it does not feel like that. But do you have any kind of rituals surrounding that, or like, is there something that you tell your head, and like, or a mantra or anything like that?
Yeah, I usually the mantras don't fail. No, it's
No
like don't you
weakness.
dare. I know. Like don't, no, people are gonna stare at you. I'm helping, I know. Just being real, I've powered some shit up because I'm so like socially anxious. I'm just like I turn into CT Fletcher and I'm just like I will like have you seen his movie, by the way? That probably makes no sense if you have not. Okay. He's very dramatic. It's great, but it's like CT Fletcher's I don't remember the full name, like I don't remember the full name, but it's just there's only one out there. So if you watch his documentary, he basically just like wills his biceps to curl. He's like, I demand you to but that's me basically, but for other reasons. It's
That's
purely
hilarious.
social anxiety, not necessarily for the gains, but yeah, I would probably like if I was to put the social anxiety aside, um essentially I would just probably have going through my head of, like 100%, right? No stones left unturned. That's kind of my mantra right now. It's just like no matter what happens, as long as I give it my 100%, then I'll be happy, even if that's failing the lift. Like I would probably be happier failing the lift because I knew that there was nothing left in the tank than if I was like, I might have been able to get one more.
Yeah, like, so for that incline barbell press, the last 3 weeks, I think, and I've hit. So I do 4 sets, 8, 8, 7, 8, 8, 8 sets. So 3 sets of 8 and then 7. I've been chasing this weight for 3 weeks now just to get that one more rep, and I have not yet got it. Maybe this week. Which at this point, I'm just like, I'm not going down. I refuse. I know I'm not hitting the recommended rep range, but I'm like, I'm going to fucking get it if it's the last thing I do. But so like recently, so because I'm like really, really trying to push heavy, I've just been like, all right, we're strong, just fucking push or like pull or whatever it is. And like, because I watched this Bumstead video relatively recently, and he was talking about trying to grow his arms, and he's like, I don't really think about the weight or even really look at it. I just look at my muscle and just squeeze it as hard as I can. Yeah, that's kind of where I've been at recently. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I have 2 songs. I usually do Metallica's Fuel because I really like how it starts. And then I like Multiply by Exhibit.
Oh, nice.
2 very different songs, but
yeah,
they get me going.
I've been listening to a lot of X Ambassadors as well, which some of it's not your usual workout music, but some of them they do have a lot of good little like hype type songs. And I saw them live, so like nice. It still kind of gets me hyped because live music is great, and you can always remember that. But yeah, Paramore was my, it's usually still my go-to. But I was also thinking when I'm in those moments, so like I work out with Des most days. It's just weekends I'm on my own, but that's arm day, so if I fail, nothing dangerous is happening. But with her, it's not like, oh, I'm failing in front of my girlfriend. I don't want to do that because I've done it so many times. It's more so like in my head, I hear myself start to doubt myself, right? There's this, you sense that it's getting harder, and then you have the question pop up of, am I going to get this last rep, or am I going to get these last 2 reps? So I like to like kind of try to throw that thought in the trash and be like, this is fucking easy. Like, no way. I literally am not going to drop this. There is no choice. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. And when it doesn't, it doesn't. But it definitely, it's worse if you psych yourself out. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. Nick Walker listens to Evanescence when he lifts. Like he likes emotional slow music. And
dude, so do I though.
Yeah, I'm like, I've never done that when I lift, but I can see where it can be like handy, especially if you were an emo kid.
Exactly. So that's my thing though. Like if you listen to my current workout playlist, people would be like, what the fuck is this? Because there's a lot of slow songs. But also like I like to tap into that like emo chip on my shoulder, like times where like it was rough. So I like to put my mind back in those times, and then it motivates me to like do what I'm doing like for my past self, if that makes sense. I'm like,
oh, that's pretty dope way to think about
my
it.
past self was like feeling so stuck, feeling like life was shit, but like if I can like look at what I've done for myself now, and this is for my past person, and they would be so proud, kind of thing. So like that's where I like to tap into that energy. And people who like probably see my playlist are like, this is garbage, but it's personal to me.
No one else has to be in your headphones.
No, exactly.
That's a pretty dope way to think about it, though. I've never thought about it like that. But to be honest, it's all of my like I don't have new music on my thing, like it's
Me either.
on my playlist. So maybe it is like the same thing that it's like doing without thinking about it. So
yeah, for sure.
so weird. Yeah, that's funny. Interesting. Do you do anything for cardio?
Usually YouTube. So I don't do the motivational stuff unless I'm in prep or something. Then I'll do like the Goggins shit because he's insane and prep is insane. So you kind of really have to tap into those Goggins feels. But usually I'll watch more educational stuff during cardio, or some like comedy type stuff just to kind of distract me if I'm getting bored or whatever. sometimes when there's nothing to watch, I spend half the cardio session scrolling, trying to find something to watch. That's never fun. I'm like, come on, why isn't there anything good? So yeah, little tip: probably choose what you want to watch before before you go do cardio.
I
How
have a
about you?
cardio. I do a cardio show, so like I do like it's a series that I watch that I only watch when I do cardio. Um, it works sometimes. Right now I'm watching very embarrassingly Teen Wolf. Um, so that's my current cardio show. But it works okay just because it's like it gets me to keep going usually, and I always need a distraction that's like completely distracting. So like I can't, because I hate cardio very much, and so I need something that has like a plot. I need something that gets my mind off the time. I always put a towel over the clock because I cannot, because I'll just stare at it the entire time,
Yeah.
no matter if there's something I'm supposed to be watching or not. So I always cover that up.
That's good.
And I don't know if you do this, but I always like think about time, like especially if it's like 20 minutes, like so I do 20-minute cardio sessions. I think like, okay, so that's not even a whole TV show. So like that's easy peasy. Or like if it gets down to like 8 minutes or something, I'm like 8 minutes, that's like two songs.
Yeah.
And so I like always try to break it down into small sections to make me feel better about myself
Yeah.
about how much time I have left.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
prep was really hard when it was like my cardio was like an hour. I would
Mm-hmm. I remember like even for me too. That's why I would like go for the Goggins, because I just call myself a little bitch and then like I'm not stopping. It's healthy, let me tell
yeah,
you.
healthy. It's great mental state. Yeah, I would just be like, okay, 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes. That's okay. 10 more minutes. Just make it 10 more minutes, and then like get those like roadblocks and like, all right, I'm gonna run until like when I used to run, which was a very short time. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna run to that stop sign, then I can take a break. But I would never take a break. It would just be like I would keep moving it like the carrot in front of the mouth, a horse.
Yeah, yeah. It's always a little bit weirder when you're the one actually moving your own carrot, but
I know it's a little harder, but you can do it. Just
yeah,
keep
it's like
going.
another thing I that sometimes helps, but like even now I use this. I like to visualize things a lot. So when I visualize myself like competing again, or even when I was in prep, when I visualized myself competing, I knew that I wouldn't be able to be like happy with my efforts on stage unless I knew that I covered all bases. So I just imagined myself like being on that stage, and the only way like, because at the point when I was competing, it wasn't like I didn't feel like I was going to win. I was just like, it was the first time I competed in a while after like surgeries and all that bullshit. So I was just like, I know that in order for me to still be proud of my efforts, that I need to give it 100%. So if I picture myself up on that stage knowing that like I left nothing on the table, like literally nothing, then I am stoked. And I still think about that even now in the off season, and like I have no idea when I'm competing next, and that is really hard actually, to not have a deadline. But I still picture the next time I'm going to be on that stage, and I'm like, I know that if I don't even if I mess around even in my off seasons, then the next time I step on stage, all I'm going to think about is all those other missed opportunities or little things that I didn't do, or like little things I could have done better. So I just don't even want that in my head. I just want to know that I did everything, and I want to be proud of myself for it. That probably doesn't work for people who don't compete, but that's just my mindset.
Yeah, but I think you can also think about it in like whatever goal you have. Like, so like if someone is having a hard time getting to the gym, but their whole goal is to be able to like play with their kids until they're old, or to like coach baseball or something like with their children. It's just like just keep picturing that. Like picture whatever activity you want to do when you're like a million or like old, and or um being able to like hike up a mountain without getting winded, if that's what your goal is. I think it's easy to just to play those visual games just because like it's just imagination and it's getting out of your head, which makes working out so much easier if
Hmm.
you can just get out of your head. Because yeah, you have to pay attention, but as long as soon as you got your form down, it's all becomes second nature once you get into that groove. And I think playing these visual like simulations, almost just remembering why the hell you showed up today. I think it just helps a lot to picture whatever it is you're wanting, or because like I think that's the trick, especially if you're like a lifestyle, like you just trying to get healthier. Well, what does healthy look like to you? Like, what does
Hmm.
that mean? How you know you're going to make that goal, or what is it going to look like when you hit that goal? Like, if you have a super vivid picture, like, I think that helps a lot in
Yeah,
making it
and like
real.
how how would it feel for you to hit that goal? Like, what is the importance of this goal for you, and how would you feel when you hit it? Or like how might you feel when you hit it?
Or if you
Um,
didn't hit it, how would that feel?
yeah, that's a good thing to remember too when you're struggling.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like if it really is like trying to get healthy for a child or healthy to do something, like what if you get there and you didn't hit it? Like how is that going to feel? It's almost like the same thing about like if you didn't give it all like during prep, how would it feel to go on there and not be peaked right or
Hmm.
have something left? Like it's that same feeling, it's just in a different way.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I think that like those visual things really help, and especially when you're in those like depths, because it happens to everybody.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not just for competitors.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if you're ever into like vision boards and stuff like that. Personally, no, I wasn't. Like, I always just like keep it all in my head, but I can see how that also could be helpful if you literally like are, even if you're journaling it out, or like you make a vision board to help you like stay on track and make sure you like stay focused and stuff. That might be something. Are you like a visual or like a vision board type of person, or
I wouldn't say I'm like a physical vision board person, but like the way I kind of get through like anxiety attacks is always been like that that visual thing that every therapist teaches you, like name like 5 things that you can see right now, 3 things you can hear right now, or whatever. I don't know the details, but like whenever I'm like really struggling, and like especially like during prep and stuff, I'll be like, well, what color suit do I want to have? Like, what am I going to look like exactly? And I'll pick out like details that I can picture. And that usually helps me a lot because, again, it gets me out of like when you're thinking about like silly like details, like it takes you out of your head and
yeah.
puts you somewhere else. And I think that helps me a lot.
Do you have a visual, like a visual of what you want to look like potentially? Is that something you visualize?
Yeah, yes, definitely is. I think I also visualize, and this sounds terrible, like conceited or almost, but like I want like my next like especially like show like to be like, damn, that guy's trans.
Mhm.
Like I really want that, and like so like I just want to show up and like no one second guess me, and not even like for passing purposes. I just want to be like, hey, we're here and we're serious and we're just as fucking good as you are. And it's like more of a like showing up to like show off kind of thing, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, yeah, totally. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's cool. And yeah, for my last show, it's funny. I don't think anyone ever questioned uh if that I like or thought I was trans or whatever. And like I did the summer shredding show, which is
Mhm.
kind of funny because some people have the same scars from weight loss surgery from
Right.
skin removal. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, people just probably thought I lost a shit ton of weight. Like I blend in so well here. It's great.
I didn't even think about that. Though I
uh,
did see someone had a gyno surgery and they have the same scars. And I'm like,
mhm.
that's so again, Why bodybuilding?
Yeah, like we fit in so well, it's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But um shoot, I kind of lost track of what we were talking about.
Visualizing,
Visualizing.
let's
Uh
see what else.
but I do think that helps getting through those like barriers about getting into the gym and like gym anxiety. And I think if you think about it in the big picture, gyms are also only like an hour out of your day.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't necessarily want to
depending.
go to
Yeah.
school every day, but I spent like 8 hours there.
And you did it for years, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that's the thing too. It's funny how what we find acceptable, or like what is acceptable for just to force ourselves to do, or what is like needed but not necessarily wanted, whatever. Like exercise is one of those things that it might be uncomfortable. It might not be something we want to do. It might not always be fun. I'm not always having fun. I like it. You would think that I would be always having fun, but there are some days where you're stressed or you're tired or like you're not in the greatest mood. That happens for everybody, but it is like one of those things that it's just sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do because it's good for you. And it's hard. I feel like when it comes to the gym and exercise, people are more on the line of like, this is hard and uncomfortable, this is toxic. Like, no. Like, did we say that about school and like going to work? Is work toxic if we don't want to do it? I mean, there is always that like you need a new job if you hate your life. But like we still do it, right? Because we got to survive, we got to live, and your health is the biggest form of currency that we never consider. Like your health is the foundation. You cannot do your job if you are not healthy. You can, and a lot of people are like, oh, that's a really privileged thing to say, but it's just like, I'm sorry, I'm promoting health. Okay.
Yeah, and but also like it everything is uncomfortable at the beginning. Like, and I think that's what we just got to remember. And it does get easier once you kind of get into the habits. And I think that's something that also is a little bit overlooked. Things get easier the more you do them. You can make friends sometimes at the gym, or at least say like do that weird nod
Like,
thing.
what's up?
Um, like you can become a regular and not necessarily be obsessed with the gym or love it even. Like it can just be something you do. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be more than that. Like I'm not saying that everybody has to be a gym rat. Like it doesn't have to be your safe space or your fun space. It can just be a space that you go to get work done.
Mhm.
It can
Yeah.
be simple like that. We don't need to overthink it. And yeah, I think that's that.
That's all we got, maybe.
It can be
um
simple. I mean, and I think that's something that people don't really think about. I think we tie a lot to the gym as a place that it necessarily is it's just a building with shit in it.
yes, and like, plus, if I know if a lot of people aren't necessarily into the gym at all, or they want to do a different form of exercise that is more enjoyable for them, but I would say just make sure that you are incorporating some sort of strength training, because it's good for your health. Like if you don't have as you age, you lose muscle mass, and when you lose muscle mass, you also lose bone mass. Like there's a lot of consequences to not strength training, unfortunately. Like women are more susceptible to osteoporosis and things like that. But strength training doesn't just strengthen your muscles, it also strengthens your bones. Some people just don't really know that, so I don't know why I decided to throw that out there. Actually, I do know why, but anyways, strength training is very important, whether you like hate it or not. Please do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to look the same for everybody. Again, there are different styles of training. There's different. You can usually find some kind of strength training that works for you, and it can be like circuit, which can be quicker and uh, sometimes more annoying at the gym, or it can be bodybuilding style. It can be kettlebells and Tabatas. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. you can almost always find something that you like or
Yeah.
can tolerate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, uh, I don't know.
Are you pumped up? Have you gone to the
uh,
gym today?
and today's rest day for me, so
Nice.
no gym for me. Yep. Sundays, like I feel like rest days are always weird for me because my routine is not normal. And then I'm kind of like more antsy and jittery. I'm just like, what do I do with this energy?
You don't get to burn it off. You don't get
No.
to release your demons.
Yeah, no. Need the demon release.
Just snuggle dogs.
Yeah, there's that at least.
Well,
But
I think today might just be a little bit shorter than normal.
yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. What do you got for our power talk today?
Power talk. Yes, let's do that. So I have a quote, and the quote is, oh, this kind of ties into what we talked about.
Perfect.
It says, don't fear failure. Fear being in the exact same place next year as you are today. So I like that just because there's so many people that don't even want to get started because they're afraid to fail. But literally, you are not going anywhere if you don't even start. Plus, failure is there's kind of like no such thing as failure. It's always it's a teacher, right? It's a learning lesson. You learn what doesn't work or what does work. If anything, it shows you what direction you should be going. So if you want answers or you have like these decisions to make, and you're like, I don't know, is this way I should go or should I go this way? Just pick one and then you'll know the answer, whether it's yes or no. Sometimes it sucks for sure to learn, maybe the hard way, but it's better than like being a deer in the headlights and just freezing and then doing nothing. And then a year passes and you are literally in the same place or maybe even worse off. That could be a thing too. But I always like to say, time passes anyways. So even if you are making small steps forward, it's still, you are still moving forward. And there's nothing greater than having that moment, say like a year passes or whatever, and then you look back and you get to see how far you've come. That is the greatest feeling. You just feel so proud and it like boosts your confidence. And you start to wonder, what else am I capable of? What else can I accomplish? And failure just gets less and less scary. Of course, depends how big the goal is. Like failure can sometimes be very, very scary if it involves like housing or finances and stuff like that. But yeah, failure is a teacher. That's very cliche, but it's so fucking true. And don't fear it. Just learn from it.
Yeah, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, just pick it up and move on. I think sorry to hijack, but like I think also the people get stuck on, oh, I'm not quite ready. Like it's just might not just be the right time. There's not going to be one. I'm sorry to break that to you.
No.
The right time was yesterday, and we can't do anything about that now. So
Yeah, I hear that a lot. There's like, oh, life's a little crazy right now. Either it's like I need to, put this on hold. I need to pause this for a bit, or I don't think I'm gonna start until I get this thing handled. And life is life. There's always going to be something happening. There's always going to be hurdles. There's never any time in life. Like, can you think like before you think about you need to delay the start of something? Can you think of a point in your life where things have just gone perfectly smooth for even a week? Come on, like let's be real. So there isn't going to be a perfect time, and to make this sustainable, you need to incorporate this in your rough times of life, because it's not sustainable if you cannot sustain it in your hardest times. So that's just kind of a way to know, what can I handle at all times. It's probably not great if you're having a rough time in life and you're like, I'm gonna work out 7 days a week for 2 hours a day, and then like the next day you quit because it's awful. But like if you can start 2 to 3 days a week, just do whatever you can in that moment. You can build up as things maybe get easier, but then you can also dial it back down to when you have to if things are hard. So like there is seasons in life. I wish I could emphasize this so much more. So there's seasons in life to like step on the gas and really focus in on whatever your goals are, because things are running a little smoother. Maybe you're not swimming upstream, But then there's seasons in life where everything kind of seems to be happening at once. So you might have to like take your foot off the gas a little. You don't have to like put that brake on, just, let up a little, maybe bring your workout intensity down a little bit, maybe like the volume I keep hitting my microphone. Maybe the volume, fucking volume. Like maybe the volume, maybe not necessarily intensity. Sorry, that was the intensity is needed. What are we supposed to talk about that?
Yeah. Oh.
So like, maybe you have to dial it back a little bit, take the foot off the gas, don't quit, but just dial it back. And sometimes like you just have to be at maintenance level, and that is 100% okay, because maintenance is better than regression.
Yes.
So just seasons are normal. You're not going to be on top of things at the same effort year round. Even the earth has seasons. So as a person, you have seasons, and we have seasons of losing weight, gaining weight. You have to have room to allow for these things, because you are human and it happens. Perfection is boring anyways. Let's be real. If life was perfect, we would get bored real fast.
Yeah, no kidding. We gotta have that drama in there.
Yeah. I mean, we pay to watch it sometimes. So
I mean, yeah, a lot of people thrive off that stuff. So I think that is the really important thing to do, is that there's never going to be a perfect time to start. So start now, because that's all you can.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll talk about intensity another time, because here we are at closing. So
totally forgot about it.
Totally forgot. Sorry, friends. Come back next week, maybe, to hear about intensity.
Yes.
We haven't decided on a topic yet, so maybe not. I don't know.
But if you want to suggest a topic too, that is great.
Love them. All right. So until next time, we're Cody and Kel, and you've been at the lab. Bye.